In World War II, America fought many desperate battles, but only one ended with an order no U.S. commander ever wanted to give. Leave them behind. December 1941. The Philippines. Just days after Pearl Harbor, Japanese forces struck the American garrison in the islands with overwhelming speed. Airfields were destroyed, supply lines were cut, reinforcements were impossible. What remained of U.S. and Filipino forces fell back to one last place that could still be defended: the Bataan Peninsula. Surrounded by jungle and sea, American and Filipino troops dug in, knowing the truth. This was not a position to win from, only to delay from. Every day they held bought time for the wider Pacific War. Every day they resisted, Japan paid in blood. But time came at a cost. Food ran out first, then medicine, then ammunition. Men fought on quarter rations, disease spreading faster than bullets. Malaria, dysentery, and exhaustion killed as many as enemy fire. Soldiers too weak to stand still manned their positions, rifles shaking in their hands. Across the lines, Japanese forces pressed forward relentlessly. Artillery pounded the jungle. Infantry assaults came again and again, probing for collapse. Commanders expected the defenders to break. They didn't. Instead, battered American and Filipino units counterattacked when they could, held ground when they had nothing left to give, and refused to disappear. For 3 months, Bataan became a symbol of defiance, not because victory was possible, but because surrender was delayed. Eventually, reality closed in. No relief was coming. No supplies would arrive. And continuing the fight meant annihilation. In April 1942, the decision was made. The order to surrender was given not as an admission of defeat, but as an act of mercy for men who had already given everything. It was the largest surrender in American military history. What followed was worse than the battle itself. Thousands were forced into a brutal march under tropical heat, beaten, starved, and executed along the road. The Bataan Death March became one of the darkest chapters of the war. But the stand at Bataan was not meaningless. It delayed Japan's advance. It exposed the limits of enemy logistics. And it forged a promise that would echo across the Pacific. I shall return. When American forces came back in 1944, they carried the memory of Bataan with them, not as a failure, but as a debt. America's last stand in the Philippines was not the end of the fight. It was the beginning of a reckoning. Because sometimes, the most important battles are not the ones you win, but the ones you endure long enough to make victory possible later.